The Comic-Con that is a mile above the rest returns in 2013, and it's bigger than ever.
That's right. Stan Lee's going to be at Denver Comic-Con this year.
They also have George Takei at Denver Comic-Con 2013.
Plus Kelly Hu and Will Wheaton.
Friend of the podcast, Georges Jonty, will be there. So go online to denvercomiccon.com where you can buy tickets. Stay tuned. VIP tickets for Stan Lee will be available. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic-Con. Log on to Denver Comic-Con right now to get your tickets to the Mile High Extravaganza. It is getting so close, I'm getting antsy because I really want to go there.
Yeah.
I want comics now.
And I really hope that the DCC people contact me soon about panels and things like that, because there's some panels I really want to get in on. Because they have some ideas corresponding with Chris. You know, he says we have cool panel ideas and we want you guys to do them again. So I really want to do one. Yeah. I had fun with James Marsters. Hey, do you guys remember how great James Marsters smelt?
No, I don't.
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about it a lot.
Dude, like, he embraced me in his strong arms, and I was like, you smell amazing, sir.
Love your arms.
Man.
I just feel so safe.
Yeah, I wanted him to wrap me in his leather trench coat and, call me pet. It'd be so great.
You were just like, take me to bed or lose me forever.
Exactly. So there's so many people I want to interview. I didn't put them in my review request for what I had to fill out for my podcast thing. But I'm still going to beg Kelly Hu and Aaron Gray to do a Friday the 13th reunion show. I'm going to do it because they only give you 5 slots. I'm like, I want to interview everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
we'll be bouncing all over that place.
So I'm hoping. And we'll see you there. It's May 31st or June 2nd. It'll be lots of fun. You know it's May 3rd?
What's May 3rd?
My boyfriend's new movie.
Oh, you mean
right.
The Great Gatsby?
No, you son of a bee.
Wait, so the Friday is May 31st. What movie comes out then?
I mean, June 3rd is it's May 3rd. I'm all goofy. I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that
I know.
You were willing to let the premiere of Iron Man 3 go like a month away.
I know, right? But
it should be the other way around. Like, you want April 3rd.
I was messing around on YouTube on my Kindle Fire, and what's great about a Kindle Fire is it has a headphone jack, and I plugged in my Tweaked Audio Natural Volume 3 version 3 headphones, and I listened to Robert Downey Jr.'s concert he did on Oprah. Man, it sounded amazing.
Oh, yeah?
And it was a really cool one, and I actually watched a whole Oprah episode because he was on it promoting his album. Totally. And
Ryan's wife just called him gay.
But
so far I could.
But listening it through Tweaked Audio earbuds, dude, you have to get yourself some. Log on to tweakedaudio.com. Pick out any ones you want. Any ones. You could have hundreds of them. And if when you check out, there's a little coupon code. Enter in as one word, Real Nerds, REELNERDS. A third off your whole order. If your order is $30,000, you'll get $10,000 off.
Wow, you just saved $10,000.
Those are some savings, right, guys?
It's funny. I've been playing a lot of video games lately because for some reason March this year is just like video game month. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
And when I was younger, like the best way to get good sound while you're playing a video game, even I have a nice surround sound system in my room, but the best way is really to have headphones, like real nice headphones. You get that surround sound thing. You always know where somebody's shooting you from. And I got out my headphones recently, and or my old headphones, and they're big over the ear, awesome headphones. Sounded like shit. Plugged in my Tweaked Audio headphones, they sounded great, and you could hear that definition, like, and I've got that parkour ones that are just for walking and listening to music and skateboarding and shit, which is how I spend most of my time.
You're not parkouring with your parkour.
No,
earbuds.
Well, I ride the skateboard, and then when I fall off the cliff off of the skateboard, then I go into parkour mode.
Nice,
and I start like jumping on shit and swinging.
That's awesome.
I'm like a monkey.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know why all the cool games are coming out right now?
Why?
Because
the console is almost over.
Console's almost over?
Yeah, the console generation's about to end.
Probably more likely that the fiscal quarter is ending.
Yeah.
So they're trying
to
hit their projections.
Yeah, that's why Mark.
Higher sales.
But this is...
And you can, if you go to realnerdspodcast.com, you can read my very first video game typed review for Tomb Raider.
And hopefully we'll do another audio one soon, too.
We will, and look for those every week. I'm going to try, even if it's a retro game, I'm going to review them. And
Oh, cool.
Brad's working on, I don't know how many people, I know Brad is a big fan of old school GamePro. They stopped printing GamePro over a year ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they stopped their review style with like the dude head that's like on like electric because it's like the best, and when it's okay, he has like his thumb is like in the middle and he's kind of depressed. So Brad's gonna see if we can find some old Game Pros and we're gonna reintroduce that review style.
That's right.
That was pretty good.
So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And I love video games. That's what's great about this podcast. We might be called Real Nerds, but we are nerds of everything. We are going to be at Starfest this year.
Yay.
Starfest is April 20th through the 19th through the 21st.
That's right. Boldly going where
Yeah.
most nerds have gone before.
Exactly. And you know what? I always am hesitant to go there because it's really not my style, Starfest. It's more of a sci-fi kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I'm there, I always find a sweet action figure that I've always wanted.
That is true.
I mean, last year I
Yeah.
got to chase Norman Osborn Unmasked Green Goblin, which is very hard to find,
Yeah.
for $20. I mean, I paid $25 to get into it. But
Yeah.
$45 for the action figure, which is usually like a $70 action figure, I think's a win.
You really end up paying $25 for the day spent walking around,
Yeah.
seeing stormtroopers and shit.
And you know what? Every year they have the dude who has bootleg DVDs and
Yeah. Oh man, those are good. I'm gonna buy a couple this year.
Really?
Or maybe steal them. I might steal
Well,
them.
you already steal off the internet, so I guess it's nothing new for you.
Yeah, but I might just steal off that guy's table because that's all he's doing.
Are you guys going to look down on me if I wear a Starfleet uniform?
No,
Oh,
man,
hell
we're
no.
gonna- I'm going to
Sweet.
salute you, sir.
Oh
Excellent.
man, I'll call you the commander all day.
Absolutely.
Finally.
The Cobra Commander.
Ooh, speaking of
What?
Cobra Commander, do you know what we do on Real Nerds every week, guys?
We talk about the Cobra Commander.
Well, besides that,
Okay.
that's off the air. But we go see the hot new movie of the week. Usually it's something with Miley Cyrus, like LOL. But this week it was. No, that's a real movie. Did you
No,
know that?
I know. I laughed
I
because
think the fallacy is
none
that
of us saw that.
it probably didn't come to a theater.
It
which
actually
we
didn't.
wouldn't-
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. But anyways, what we do
Why would it?
is we go and see a new movie. This year we saw G.I. Joe. This week we saw G.I.
We see
Joe.
one a year.
We see one a year. And this year it's
Slowest-
G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Most uninteresting.
We could have seen
podcast.
Star Trek. We could have seen Evil Dead. We could have seen
Iron Man
3.
Something good.
But
Well,
No.
our movie of the year is G.I.
G.I.
Joe
Joe
Retaliation.
Retaliation. But we go see the movie. We talk about it at the very end of the show, so stay tuned for our feature, and we'll tell you if you should see it or not. We also go into fan mail. We only have one this week. I'll mention a couple things during fan mail. We have one this week. Then we talk about what we watched throughout the course of the week because we're such big movie fans. I mean, every week, even if I wasn't doing the show, I'd still probably see 2 or 3 movies.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch them because I love movies so much. And then after that, we talk about some box office numbers, what's coming out, some real news. James has a comic book for us this week.
I
can
do.
see what you have right there. I'm excited to
I
hear
do.
about it.
Then the pages look pretty.
It does. Great art. And then after that, we review the movie. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be lots of fun.
Cool.
Also, if
I'm
you didn't
excited.
already know, I'm Brad. Because
Oh,
I was
hi,
introduced,
Brad.
and that's James over there.
I just
Yeah.
said welcome to Real Nerds. Everybody knows who we are. My voice is
Yeah.
so
Every
velvety
podcast
smooth.
is somebody's first podcast, Ryan.
Yeah, Stanley.
Oh, wow. So I'm Ryan. I'm the host.
Well, you did say that. You just forgot the other two.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Well, fuck you guys. Who cares?
That's all right. You know, I know who I am.
But I couldn't
You'll
do this.
remember
Even if-
my
even
name
if you
after
don't.
Starfest.
But I can't do the show without you guys. James witty banter and Brad editing.
You definitely can't do the website without me.
That's right.
I just dropped a quote from Joss Whedon's best script he ever wrote. Little. You don't know who I know who I am, but you don't know who I am. From the chain,
Mm-hmm.
Buffy fans. Anyway,
Anyways, Buffy fans out there, hey, fan mail.
fan mail.
Do-do-do, do-do-do.
I'll do that.
Oh, I don't have
You
to.
don't- yeah.
I don't have to do that.
No, it's automated. You
Oh,
just,
wow.
you just have to talk. You know,
Yeah, he
Sing
puts it into
anything.
a machine and it just adds music in.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, watch this.
Damn it.
Fan mail.
Well, more like listen to this.
Fan mail.
Wasn't that great?
That was.
That's pretty good.
Dude, should I do another rap? You dropped a sweet beat for me last
Did
week.
you enjoy that?
I did. I like it because I never know if you're going to do it, and I tell you to do it, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised when I listen to the podcast and it shows up. And it really ends really funny, too, because you're like, all right, that's enough
Yeah.
of that, and it just...
The amazing thing is, I just picked a random clip, and it ended exactly where it needed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it even kind of fits too. I mean, I wasn't doing it rhythmically at all, but Brad found the right one, and it works pretty well. It's kind of funny how I know watching you edit over a couple years, sometimes you just put a piece of music and it just fits for some reason.
It does. It's spooky.
It is. It's really cool. Maybe it's subconsciously you had it in your mind or something.
Probably because I've watched so many movies that my
Exactly.
brain is subconsciously informed by certain aesthetics.
Probably.
Probably not.
Before we get into the actual only piece of fan mail I got this week, we got a couple tweets. Mac Brebonics has tweeted he wants to see Pacific Rim or Evil Dead with us. Evil Dead's next week, and it's short notice, so if you would like to see Pacific Rim with us, sir, make sure you tweet us your phone number or email address, a way we can contact you, not just in 140 characters.
Yeah.
And we'll set something up for sure. I think Pacific Rim is in July. Or
So the way I told him, if you think of something sooner, you're welcome to switch it up.
But Matty O'Connor and Zach want to come back for
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain, Epic Part 2, and Pain and Gain is in April. So
yeah,
anytime you guys want to fit in, just let us know what other movie you want to see. He mentioned Pacific Rim as one of his tweets, so if you want to see it, you're more than welcome to.
Very cool.
Also, this week, the Alamo Drafthouse opened, and we went there and watched Ghostbusters, and we are currently trying to set up something with them. Hopefully we can do a live show or get a movie we really want to see there.
Yeah.
And we can introduce it and kind of have a fun new live show. And our friend John kind of sent us some ideas for a live show, which some of them I do like. And I of course I'm going to tweak them because nobody tells me how to run my show. So not even you, John.
Even if it's a great idea, he'll make it shitty just so it's not your idea.
Even if it's a great idea, I don't give a shit. I'm going to say it's my idea. I'm going to plagiarize it. So fuck you, John. Just kidding, John. Me and John go way. Man, I've known John since high school. So I graduated 12 years ago.
Oh, you old man.
Right? And so I've known him for 16 years. And he writes a great blog. I love his blogs. It deals with lots of different things, sports, entertainment. Anyways, so thanks, John. I would take an advisement. Actually, you kind of said something that I was going to do is something with movie quotes or Stumping the Real Nerd, something like that. But the format will change for the live show.
Yeah.
I just haven't really figured it out yet.
But more important than if we're going to get involved there, dude, you've got to go check out the Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
If you live in the Denver area, even if we never get to do anything there, I will still pimp it because that place is awesome.
Yep.
Man. But we'll save it. We'll talk about Ghostbusters later when we talk about what we've been watching.
Sure.
Yeah. Talk about what that theater's like.
What was that one mail you got?
Actually, my friend Charlie Frost, no relation, worked with me at Outback for a few years, and I got an instant message on Facebook, and he says, "Hey, man, just wanted to drop a line and say that I'm the newest member of the Real Nerds fan club." Woo!
Hell yeah.
I can't hold a candle to your movie knowledge, but I enjoy hearing you guys shoot the shit about obscure trivia, actors, etc. I spent a day at work listening to the 1999 movie episode, and now I need to go check out Magnolia and Deep Blue Sea. What two great things to combine is Magnolia and Deep Blue Sea.
Please don't watch those. Actually, no. Please watch those movies on the same day. Yeah, right next to each other.
Oh yeah.
In what order? Wait, what order is best?
I would say Magnolia, then Deep Blue Sea.
Really? I would have figured Deep Blue Sea, then you could wash your palate with Magnolia.
No, see, that's the thing. I would say the other way around. Yeah, I would say like a serious.
This is from someone who has
Magnolia.
to see Magnolia. So,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I would say a
I've
serious
seen
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
No, I'm not
but
talking
Brad
about you.
has.
Oh,
Brad
you have.
has.
I say I fucking own the movie.
Yeah. I would say, you watch Magnolia, have a serious time, and then jump into fucking Crazy Shark movie. Yes.
Crazy Shark movie
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
So how you wrote it, Charlie, is how I would do it.
Yep.
Magnolia and then Deep Blue Sea. And Brad, this one's for you. Also, I love the Ninja Turtles in Time Warp sound effect you guys use. I was waiting for someone to say that, and I'm so amazed
glad somebody noticed.
that
Yeah.
someone noticed that. That cracked me up. Keep up the good work. I dig it. And then he asked me a personal question, like where I'm working at. So, but here's the thing with Charlie. I followed this up with, I said, you should be on, our podcast. Let me know what day. I said, we only have Pacific Rim tentatively scheduled with somebody and Pain and Gain. And I said, if you want to be on the show, do it. And I said, hey, Charlie, you're also a musician. And if you want to write us an original theme song, write us an original theme song and we'll put it on. I said, I can't pay you because I'm married, so I'm poor. But he's... and he said that, he would love to. And he doesn't want the money. He just, wants credit for it.
Oh,
so
well, good. He's not going to get it.
He's going to write something with hard rock guitar riffs and some techno beats in the background.
Dude.
So I'm excited
That
to see
sounds
what he
good.
comes up with. And I told him, I said, whatever you come up with, man, it's fine by me. We've always wanted an original theme song, and it's going to be cool to have one. So even if you don't come up with one, Charlie, thanks for being a fan. That's all that matters, and I'm glad you're listening, and good hearing from you.
Also, Charlie, if you do watch both those movies in the same day, totally call in and tell us what it's like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about that movie.
Absolutely.
How can you do that?
You can call 720-6nerds5. That's how you can call us. You can tweet us at @real_nerds. Leave us a comment at realnerdspodcast.com. You can Facebook us a comment like Charlie did, or you can email us realnerds@gmail.com.
You can record yourself on a tape recorder and then mail it to us. I mean, you don't have our address, but if you know,
Dude, that'd be sweet if we
you might
got
get
like
lucky.
in the mail one of those really small cassette
Like-
tapes that had a message on it.
yeah, just play it into a microphone.
This
Yeah.
tape will
No,
self-destruct.
you would have to come with a what was that thing called? A record boy. The thing from Home Alone, that was like this. It was just a tape recorder, but it had all these like tools and weird augmented arms and shit on it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Nope.
No, really?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Well, anyway,
Maybe one day.
I always wanted one when I was a kid.
I used to watch that movie so much when I was a kid. I used to love that movie. I always wanted my house to be broken into by some bumbling burglars, and
Yeah.
I could lay my micro machines, and they'd eat shit walking across them. And anybody else remember micro machines?
Oh, I do.
I used to have the blue container that would have, you lifted up one side and it had like the sticker, and it would say, "This is where the monster truck goes," and you'd have to collect them all and put them in the little.
Oh yeah.
And then you realize Hot Wheels are the same thing and they're bigger. But
Well, at the beginning of that movie, he's recording his uncle being an asshole, and then he uses that recording through the rest of the movie. So, like, when he's got to scare away some people, like, he's got this recording of his uncle being an asshole. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember. I just remember. I can't picture the equipment.
Yeah. Well, the reason is, I wanted one when I was a kid because they put it in that movie and then they sold them in real life, and it was just a cheap ass tape recorder, but it looked cool, and he had one in that movie, so every kid I knew wanted one, but none of us bought one because it was like a $25 tape recorder or some shit like that.
it's one of those movies that's super huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and it came out in 91. It grossed like
$230
$250
million.
million.
Yeah. Home Alone 2 is also really good, just straight up.
I don't
I would
remember.
watch
I know
that
it's
movie around
left in New
Christmas.
York or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more the
He-
same,
yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, so there's a plug for Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin probably needs some money, so go out and buy the Blu-ray.
I've been afraid of
It's probably in a
homeless
2-pack,
children.
1 and 2.
Probably is.
Yeah. Cool.
So, what have you guys been watching this week?
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Just kidding. I always go first. I watched a couple things. The coolest thing I watched this week is I rewatched, and I haven't seen this movie in years, and it's To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, okay.
And you are reminded watching this movie how great of a movie it is.
Yeah.
The kids are so fantastic in it. Gregory Peck. There's that scene where he's giving his closing argument, and it's just so good. And that wins Oscars, which he won an Oscar for. And you're like, Atticus Finch is so badass.
Yeah.
And just the whole movie is so well done. And I loved it.
AFI named him the number one greatest hero.
It is,
Of all
and what you
films.
don't realize is, it was made in 61 or
Yeah.
62. So, I mean, race relations are still really contentious. So, I mean, for them to come out with a movie based on a book that deals directly with it is pretty amazing.
That scene where like the guy is in jail
Mm-hmm.
and Atticus goes and sits by the jail and makes sure nobody kills him in the night. Oh man.
I know, and the kids show up and it stops everybody from,
Yeah.
breaking in. And the little girl says, "Well, hi, Mr. Cunningham," I think was his name.
Yeah.
And she says, "You brought my father chestnuts or whatever," because he couldn't pay him cash to defend him. And it's so good.
Yeah.
I forget because I haven't familiarized myself with the book since high school. Does Atticus Finch start out defending him, but he's like also prejudiced, but he's defending him because he believes in the law?
No.
Atticus Finch is always like, this is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, because he knew right away. The scenes in the courthouse when Tom Robinson goes up, the actor who plays him, and he's talking about because the story is, if you don't know the story, is a black man is arrested for raping a white woman. Is the story that is told to the people, and he's arrested, and a year passes, like normal trial. He comes back because he couldn't stay in town because people were going to kill him. And he comes back and he tells a story about how he didn't rape her, that this lady would always have him come chop wood or make kindling in her yard. And
She liked watching him with his shirt off.
yeah, exactly.
Chopping, yeah.
So
He was a muscly guy.
So one day she sent all her kids away to get ice cream. And he just tells a story where he says, she saved up nickels for a whole year, and I thought that was mighty nice of her to give her kids nickels to go get ice cream. And she called me in the house, and she needed fixing with the door, and I didn't notice the door was broken. And then she took me by the waist and started kissing me. And her father, who's a racist, saw that and kicked the shit out of her and blamed it on him, saying that he raped her. And Atticus has this defense, and he can't use his left arm, so how's he going to overpower her and choke her with both hands? And
Yeah.
dude, it's so good.
Plus, you get the whole, what's his name, Bo Ridley?
Boo Radley.
Boo Radley. There we go. See how it's called.
Robert Duvall's first movie.
Yeah, all of that. Which, I mean, that's all. It's longer in the book, but
But the movie's so well done, and
Yeah.
there's even a part. I mean, it's it could be construed as cheesy, but when he defends Tom Robinson with his passionate speech, and all the black people have to be upstairs because they're not allowed downstairs because it's segregated, and they all stand up and basically showing him respect. And dude, I still got a little welled up when he had to go.
Scout, stand up, your father's passing.
Yeah, when he had to go tell the family that Tom Robinson was murdered, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, it's so good.
Yeah. How's the Blu-ray? Does it look good?
Oh, dude, fantastic! Are you kidding me?
I so hate you. You got that for $1.
I know, and the Dick Van Dyke sold me on black and white. Well, I mean, I saw Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein looks really good too.
Sold you on black and white makes it sound like you want everybody to start filming in black and white.
Well, I mean, stuff on Blu-ray looks so good in black and white.
Yeah, it does.
So you should pick up the 50th anniversary of To Kill a Mockingbird because they have 2 feature-length documentaries on it.
Wow.
They have a commentary by the director and the writer before they passed away. It's really good. So you should definitely pick up that movie. And it's definitely one of the
screenwriter or Harper Lee?
The screenwriter, who was Harrison Foote, I think is his name. And he was a playwright. And the director, they must have recorded a commentary for a previous edition of the DVD because I think they passed away in 2009, both of them. So I love that movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw this movie. It's called Your Highness with Danny McBride and Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I never did.
And I wasn't a big fan of it when I saw it in the theaters. But again, when I traded in movies I didn't watch anymore, and I got all these movies for $1, I'm like, fuck it, I'll pick up this one. And it was a lot funnier than I remember it being. It's not a great movie, but it's still pretty funny.
Yeah, a lot of the humor for me just comes from the dialogue, which they speak in Old English, but they also use like slang.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, there's a part
there's tons of cussing, and then, but at the same time, it's like ye old, whatever.
What made me laugh, and it's just the way James Franco delivers this line at the end, and Justin Terrio is great in it as the villain, but they do this stuff, and Danny McBride kills this one guy, and then James Franco is saving Zooey Deschanel, and he pops up and he says, "Nice," just like not English accent, just straight up nice. Yeah. And you're right, it's something about the way they speak, because you'll have these really classy English actors, and they're acting really well, like Toby Jones, and
wow.
I love how like one of the villains is like his name's Julie, and they're always just. He's totally weak, and they just pick on him all the time. He has like no real power, but he's like a major villain in the movie.
Yeah, and he has no dick either.
Yeah,
yeah. You watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's totally
shut the fuck up, Julie.
Yeah. It's totally goofy, and
how did Natalie Portman end up in that movie?
Because she wanted to do a movie where she wouldn't have to be taken seriously, and
that's funny.
And she's the most serious person in it because Danny McBride is. Danny McBride. So she's given this really long speech about how her father and her brothers were all murdered by Justin Terrio's character.
Oh no!
And then it cuts back to Danny McBride. He says, "That fucking sucks." and it's just the funniest out of place dialogue. And he kills a minotaur and cuts off its dick and wears it around his neck. And he offers it to Natalie Portman. And he says, "Here, take this." Just says, "I can't possibly take your trophy." And it's totally ridiculous. But
what?
Yeah, it's amazing. It was a lot funnier when I watched it a second time. I remember that was my favorite part of it was the dialogue didn't fit how they were and where they had to jerk off the old wizard and stuff. And
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Light week for you.
Yeah, I think I watched something else, but it's escaping me right now. So, whatever. I might remember it later.
Yeah, you can always talk about it next week.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have new movies to talk about next week. Brad, what did you watch this week?
I got a Blu-ray copy, a digibook copy.
Oh wait, I did see something else. I totally sorry
Man.
because it
That was
actually
a short segment.
it actually ties into the movie we saw this week.
Oh. Well, hold on. We'll just say, I'm going to talk about it
you
too.
talking
so,
to
yeah.
Sorry, Brad. I didn't interrupt
You
you. Just totally
he
fucking
interrupted
hit me.
you for no reason.
Where was I?
You
You
got
got
a
a
DVD
digibook.
book.
Yeah, I got a digibook copy of Rocky.
What does that mean,
Cool.
digibook?
It's the kind of Blu-ray that it looks like a book on your shelf.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got like a paper cover, and you open it up, and it's got pages in it.
Why
in
would they
front
call
of the
that a
disc tray.
digibook?
Really?
Why like digital?
Digital book.
But it's not digital. It's a real book. Like there's a book at the beginning.
Yeah,
And then
but
there's
there's
a
also
disc.
a digital copy of what they're talking about
I guess.
on
All
a
right.
disc.
Anyway.
The Digipack is, the
Silicon.
DVD or the case without the book part.
Yeah, it just makes me think of a Digimon.
But people didn't turn this on to listen about DVD specs.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So I got a digibook copy of Rocky. It's beautiful. It's really thin. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. Like most digibooks are maybe an inch thick.
If you don't feed Rocky, does he die? Do you have to clean up his poo after he eats? Never
Yes,
mind. Go
and
ahead.
then if you pour water on him, gremlins pop out of his back. What the fuck are you talking about, James?
Digimons. Come on, Digimon. Oh, you guys are too old for Digimon.
No,
No,
we're
I-
not
Go
too
ahead.
old. We just didn't watch that stupid shit.
And that's like the
wasn't the
Kmart of
show.
Pokemon, so knock it off.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Digimon was like everybody else had the Tamagotchi, but I was too poor, so I got a Digimon. And no one else had Digimon, so I couldn't fight other Digimons. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was like a
Were
dinosaur.
Digimon based on Tamagotchi?
Digimons were like
Digipets?
Tamagotchi, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were just Pokemon knockoffs.
I had a Digimon, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
So Rocky, the Blu-ray copy of Rocky is beautiful because the last time I saw it was on DVD,
Yeah.
like 2003, on a rear projection screen, which
Ooh.
was kind of dim. So most of the movie I watched that time was very dark, very black.
It was film noir.
Yeah,
Does that movie look good on
it looks
Blu-ray?
excellent.
Because it's one of those movies where it's kind of rough anyways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in its heyday, it was basically an independent film.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So it's the technical quality wasn't quite there, but it's still like a beautiful film. Like, everything was popping on the screen, very crisp, and then the movie itself, of course, is great.
Yeah.
You know, too, I love about Blu-rays is you hear sounds that you've never heard before in old movies because the stereo mix is so much better.
Yeah, I
and,
think I heard some of the dialogue better too.
Yeah.
But I had subtitles on too, so I could read it. But
Yeah. Well, because it's so mumbly sometimes.
Anyway, so there's that. Recommend it.
Cool.
Pretty sure it's the same copy in the Undisputed collection.
Oh, okay.
But I've got the beautiful book one.
Yeah.
And then I finally sat down and watched the game.
Had you never seen the game?
I had not seen the game.
Really?
Did you buy the Criterion?
I did. I didn't buy it. I streamed it on.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's not streaming the Criterion version, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just the regular game. It's a movie by David Fincher, starring Michael Douglas, about a financial executive, I guess, financial trader. He is, I think, recently divorced from his wife. He's estranged from his family. He kind of has day nightmares about his father killing himself
Yeah.
by jumping off the roof of their mansion when he was a little kid. And so all these years he's been like just being too super focused on money, and then one day his brother shows up and tells him that he got involved in this thing called the game that changed his life, and he offers it as a birthday present. So he he gives him this ticket that says, I bought you a copy of, or not a copy, but like
entry into the game.
entry into the game.
Yeah.
All you got to do is redeem it. And so after some mulling around about it and kind of dodging it, he finally decides to go and redeem it, and craziness ensues. And I found it a pretty interesting movie. I don't know. I was kind of torn with whether or not I would want to own it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like it was good, but I wasn't like, especially the ending is so. I can believe that it's hard for me to believe that in the world they create that all the resources that are at their disposal to make the game like do the things convincingly to screw with him. At the very end is so over the top that I'm like, I can't imagine that those resources exist. But weirdly, I believe that this could actually happen in the real world. With enough of the world's resources. And I can't really tell like what happens because it will spoil the mystery of, because the movie really keeps you guessing throughout, all the way to the end. Like at the very end, there's
that last sort of
there's
twist.
like 2 or 3 more twists where you're like, I can't believe it's gone this far. And there's no way that he should be alive at this point. And it's just but it's pretty thrilling, and I recommend it.
No, it's a really cool movie. And I always thought Michael Douglas was like a cool motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's good in that movie.
And, I mean, even in A Perfect Murder, I thought he was really cool. He's kind of around the same time where he's always played, the business guy who's really cool. And,
right.
He was
but
riding
like
that Gordon Gekko wave.
Had like this touch of action to it, to him and to that movie. Where,
and I love the Criterion
he can be cool
cover.
like that, but also getting shot at.
Yeah.
The Criterion.
Yeah, now the cover makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's really cool, but I always loved the original poster, too, where it was Michael Douglas's face, and his face was coming apart like puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Is a really cool.
It's a very early 90s poster.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's still cool, though.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then also, Charles Martinet, for those of you who at home who don't know who that is, he is the voice of Mario ever since Super Mario 64. He actually plays his dad in the movie.
That's crazy. Because, when I saw him for the first time...
Yeah, we
were
met him
E3,
at E3.
He's like an old guy. I didn't expect him to be an old guy who...
White hair.
Yeah, it does. Wahoo!
Yep.
Huh. But, that's what actors do, I guess.
Like, initially, he's in the first part of the movie. I'm like, God, that guy looks familiar. He's a familiar actor, but I can't put it. And then the credits rolled up, and I was like, that's where I saw him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool. Mario is in the game.
Hey...
And then the last thing I saw, and I didn't finish because I couldn't finish it, is Nature Calls. It's a Patton Oswalt and Johnny Knoxville.
Crappy.
Yeah.
Damn,
like most of the jokes revolve around like Boy Scouts leaders molesting children, which they don't do in the movie, but they just kind of allude to. There's backhanded jokes about it, which it once or twice is fine, but it kind of keeps going over and over again to where I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Whoever wrote this really thinks that Kid Diddlin is funny.
Not funny, but just like,
yeah.
Bummer.
I just lost interest. It was okay for what I saw, but it Patton Oswalt plays a Boy Scout troop leader who has never gotten over the Boy Scouts. Johnny Knoxville plays his former Boy Scout friend who basically grew out of it and said, screw you guys. I'm going to go live in the real world. So, and he becomes friends with, I forget Rob Riggle's character, but Rob Riggle's like a super jock character.
Steve Holt. Steve Holt. He plays Steve Holt in the movie.
Yeah. And, they have, their kids get together and they have like a sleepover, and then Patton Oswalt comes over to recruit the kids to go to the woods and, do Boy Scout stuff and train them to be like, real wilderness types. And he basically accidentally kidnaps the kids. So Knoxville and Rob Riggle are like out to kick his ass, and like they think they were actually kidnapped. It sounds funny, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, not good enough to finish watching.
How does it end?
I didn't finish it.
It ends well.
I don't know.
That's.
I was like, I'm done with this.
It ends with Rob Riggle getting butt fucked by Johnny Knoxville. So
probably
the jokes come all the way back.
Oh no!
Oh man, don't let your mom listen to this one.
That's
now.
horrible.
So, that's all I did. James, what did you watch?
So Revolution came back this week. It's been on hiatus for
I know
forever.
4 months. I think I was reading.
Yeah, it's something like that. And it's I still like that show. It ended in a really cool place, and then it sort of I don't know. I don't necessarily like the new status quo exactly. But it's going interesting places. They have this bizarrely direct Randall Flagg reference, which if you don't know, Randall Flagg is the villain in The Stand, and Stephen King uses him through a lot of his books, or different versions of Randall Flagg uses the initials and stuff. And this guy's name is Randall Fink or something like that. And as soon as every time they would say Randall, I'd be like, oh, this is clearly a Randall Flagg reference. And especially their writers from Lost are doing the show, and Lost used a lot of Stephen King references. So it's just weird. But that character is interesting. I'd like to know where that's going to go. But anyway, it's still good. I would still say it's the best post-Lost J.J. Abrams show that I've watched. But not. I don't adore it. If they canceled it next week, I'd be like, that's too bad. I didn't watch this yet, but I did go ahead and buy a copy of Lincoln, which I have never seen them get 4 discs into a 2-disc set.
No, I forget what movie of mine they've done it before.
Really?
Maybe a Disney movie.
Yeah, I think Disney does it.
Well, because like my up Blu-ray is is beautiful, and it's the thicker Blu-ray with the whole flappy thing inside. But obviously here they're just like, well, we don't give a shit about the DVD or digital copy, so we're just going to smack them together and squeeze them into this case.
It was weird, but I've seen it before. I forget. Gosh darn, I can't remember what movie, but I'm pretty sure it's a Disney animated movie. I've seen it before.
It feels even crummier because now I'm like, okay, I paid extra for this special features disc that then...
And then they saved like 10 cents by not putting a tray in there.
Yeah, exactly. Like now they're just being cheap on the packaging. Like, that's too bad. Also,
you still got a nice slipcover with like gold foil.
Yeah, I did get the slipcover is nice.
Unlike
it looks
the
nice
Blu-ray Roger Rabbit.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I heard.
DVD owners got a better deal.
Yeah.
Did yours didn't have it either?
Probably doesn't because I haven't seen one with it yet.
Oh, okay.
His
The movie looks fantastic though.
Oh wow.
The actual movie.
I guess I watched that this week. Did I watch it? Did I talk about it last week?
No.
No.
I did watch it this week. Then Roger Rabbit, dude. There's beats that I remembered from that movie. I must have watched it hundreds of times when I was a kid. But then when you watch it as an adult, there's parts, where Baby Herman is talking to Valiant, and he says, he smacks that girl on the ass, and, Valiant says, tough job. He says, I know, I got a 3-year-old body and a 50-year-old dinky. And
Yep.
it's funny. And when I was younger, I always loved the weasels in it because I thought they were super cool because they were gangsters.
Yeah.
But then you realize how great of a character Roger Rabbit is and how brilliant that movie is.
Yeah.
It's an amazing mystery.
It is, and it's so seamless. And seeing hand-drawn animation, and it took them 2 years after they filmed the movie to draw all the animation in.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's a wonderful movie.
I think I actually talked about it when I saw The Midnight a year ago.
Yes,
maybe.
we did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I remember now. Anyway, this week I also watched G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra.
Again.
Which I bought.
I saw it for the first time yesterday.
So I hadn't seen it since I didn't think I'd seen it since theaters, and then your wife reminded me that one time I had her over and some friends, and we drank and watched it on Netflix. So I guess I have seen it since, but I don't remember that very well. And going into it, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this movie. It's really silly. I know what things I like about it aesthetically, but I kind of was thinking like, well, but will my parents like it? Probably not, because I was watching it with them. And by the end, first of all, they really enjoyed it and had a great time. And I was like, this movie is really great. Like, it is
Really
so
great?
much fun. Yes, I'm serious. Here's the thing.
Like Lincoln
Here's
Great?
the thing.
Yeah,
No, not like Lincoln Great.
Okay,
It's
what?
a very different kind of criteria. Rise of Cobra is a action figure movie. So, like, it really is what, when I was an 8-year-old, you were imagining your action figures were doing. And there's a downside to that. I think the worst thing about the movie are the flashbacks. Stephen Sommers handles them really, really poorly. And the story that it's telling in itself feels like the writers are playing with kid toys. And what I mean is they're using bad cliches and bad mechanisms in order to write this story.
Bad dialogue.
But yes,
my
yeah,
God.
bad dialogue, weird story cliches. But here's the thing: there is no other movie you will probably ever see that's going to have like underwater evil bases and underwater submarine battles and disintegrating jets because of nanotechnology and brainwashed guys and dudes with metal faces and all of that stuff that is so cartoony and so very much that 80s cartoon. It's just off the wall, really wacky. You're not going to get that stuff anywhere else. And while yes, the story stuff is silly, the action is pretty fun. And I think it's really a fun movie. You hated it, didn't you?
No, I here's the thing. I did not hate the movie. There's parts I did enjoy of it.
Yeah.
But there's parts where it's just so asinine. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, the opening where they're from Scotland and they're just trying to. It takes place in 1500 Scotland, and the dude is an arms dealer in 1500, and his descendant grows up to be an arms dealer.
Yeah.
It's just goofy,
But it's only there as an excuse so that later
also,
he can get his face covered
They
in
go
metal.
to Egypt where the Joes are stationed, and Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans are picked up because they're transporting this super secret weapon across the country that they get
nanobissels
stopped by Cobra, and there's just so many. And so, anyways, Dennis Quaid is telling him all about it, and Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans get picked to be part of Joe's. But what about all the other guys that are just training? These guys get to skip over all the dudes that are training in the building.
Yes.
And
what would you rather have old Brendan Fraser be the main?
I know
bad?
what a weird cameo
Yeah.
too.
Brendan Fraser shows
Fraser
up in the
doing here.
movie. That weird guy from The Mummy shows up in the movie, and then of course Zartan is.
Yeah. But they also had, but there were some cool parts. I mean, they had a lot of hot chicks with like lots of cleavage walking around. And yeah, I mean, there's some action moments that you say, oh, this movie's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But then they say lines where they do a flashback to what happened to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who's Rex and who became the doctor for Cobra.
Yeah.
And he goes into this building and he finds that they're doing nanotechnology, and he's so hypnotized because he's a science, and he says, "This is amazing. This is the coolest thing." I mean, almost verbatim the lines he has.
Even Joseph Gordon-Levitt can't pull off that dialogue.
No, the dialogue is horrible.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a couple lines that are just dumb. But yeah, I mean, there's parts of, they do the underwater base. This is pretty fucking cool. I mean, I don't know how they have an underwater base in, the Antarctic.
But it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. It's a movie where, and this has been my quote about this movie forever, it's a movie where the villains have to activate a nuclear weapon by spinning it and shooting it with lasers. Like, that's a scene, When the ninjas have to fight, they have to fight in a room full of lightning. Why? Because why the fuck not? Like, you need a room full of lightning in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's shot really cool, and that's my, Steven Sommers makes fun movies. I don't think I've ever watched a movie of his where I said, oh, this is stupid. But, I mean, there's just, the good parts are so far in between with that movie that it's tough. But I mean, I enjoyed some parts, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's horrible.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch it again with the director's commentary. But it's whatever. It didn't make me that excited to see this movie I saw tonight, though.
Oh yeah,
it was interesting watching it. I said, why is this movie gets a sequel, but some movies that I think are better and could potentially have sequels.
Well, but this movie gets a sequel that is very much not a sequel to that movie.
Oh, yeah. But also
tonally and aesthetically could not be more different.
But also, and then the ending was so anticlimactic where I know they needed the Cobra Commander to live.
Yeah, where they lock up the Cobra
Commander. They catch up to him and he says, "Who's going to stop me? You and what army?" And then Channing Tatum says, "My guys." And then there's all these submarines behind him. Then it just cuts them being put in prison.
Yeah.
Boring.
No, it is. But it was the end of a really cool underwater sub battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one more thing that we all watched this week, though, which was Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
It was.
I haven't watched that movie in its entirety in a long time.
You do forget how genius the movie is.
Yeah.
Comedically.
Yeah.
And how all the little nuances of the characters that I didn't appreciate because I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
How Egon acts and one of my favorite lines ever, even when I was younger, was when it's played by Ernie Hudson. What's his name in the movie?
Winston.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the mayor, and he says, "I've only been with these guys a few weeks, and I've seen some shit that'll turn you white." And lines like that are just so genius.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray is great, and I wish Bill Murray did more movies like this.
Yeah.
Because I like him when he's serious sometimes, but he's such a good comedic actor that he should do more comedies.
You want to feel like he's having fun, and sometimes you
Yeah.
just see him do stuff, and you're like, I don't believe you right now.
And it always bugged me, and I think he kind of went on this way when he started getting nominated for Oscars and like Lost in Translation and stuff. And I mean, and a perfect example is when you saw him again in Zombieland, where he's amazing.
Yeah.
And I would just love to see him do Ghostbusters 3 and come back as Venkman because that character is so great. I mean, there's beats where Sigourney Weaver's character comes in and she's talking to their receptionist, and all of a sudden he jumps up from behind the desk and he
Such a
jumps over
puss
the
hound.
thing. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And
Yeah.
So the movie's great.
Well, I was surprised though sitting in that theater, and maybe it's because it was an Alamo Drafthouse, and they are so specific about like this is a no talking zone. But I was surprised that there wasn't more, laughing before lines, or even every now and then you'd hear somebody say a line of it, like the tell them about the Twinkie and stuff like that. Like I remember when I've seen Pulp Fiction at midnight screenings, people laugh before the joke because it's like in anticipation
yeah,
of the
but
joke.
I think Ghostbusters isn't shown as often as Pulp Fiction, so I think that people don't remember. I mean, people were laughing in it, and so I think people still enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
And also, maybe another thing, whereas they might be more familiar with an edited for television version of the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So they might be
That's
glossing over some jokes.
Yeah, that
so
is true.
It may be fresh to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that theater was nice, and the food, man.
Yeah,
the
food was
food is
good.
really
Food
good.
is great.
Yeah, I mean, and
Even the popcorn's different.
yeah, the popcorn feels.
I know
kinda
when it
like
came
homemade
in like that
popcorn.
big shiny bowl. I said, I want some popcorn in a big shiny bowl.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I meant to pass it earlier. But I kept getting sucked into the
Oh,
movie.
No, it's all right. I had eaten a pretzel, an entire pizza, and a cookie.
I know. I had a pizza, a cookie from James, and wings. I'm like,
Yeah. I ate the whole pizza, man.
It was
It
good.
really good.
Oh, you had a pizza too, though. You had pizza.
I had pizza, popcorn,
Popcorn.
the cookie. I think that was it.
Yeah,
And soda and popcorn there is cheaper than it is in a normal
and free
theater.
refills.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, free
Yeah,
refills.
sweet.
Yeah, so if you get a soda, you just flip it. If you've never been to an Alamo Drafthouse, which most people haven't, but they're the waiters are like ninjas and will fly in front of you in the space at your feet, like kneeling down.
Mhm.
And you've got a little table there, and you'll put up a flag, and if they see the flag, they grab the flag, and you've written on there what you want. So if you want a drink, you just put on there like, hey, give me more drink, and then they bring it to you.
Yeah, free
And-
refills
and
on
also
drink and popcorn.
The pizza's not like a little thin Totino's that they microwave.
No.
It is
It was like
we chopped up vegetables, sprinkled it on,
it was like a restaurant
fresh crust. Yeah, it was.
pizza. Yeah,
so I'm really excited to see more movies there.
yeah. Hopefully,
and
Evil
it's-
Dead next week.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful on the inside.
Yeah.
It has a kind of a 1920s feel to it. So yeah,
Makes you feel like you've got a lot of moxie.
yeah, whole lot of props to the Alamo Drafthouse
Yeah.
in Littleton, Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, if you live around here, it's just off of Santa Fe and Aspen Grove. Go.
Go, do yourself a favor.
Walk. Run, don't walk.
Even if you don't live near Aspen Grove, go
Yeah.
Yeah,
take
go.
the trip.
If you live in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
It might be worth it.
Yeah, it might be.
Sponsor time.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
My man spider sense is tingling.
Hey, look, it's Man Spider.
How's it going, true believers? When I'm swinging through Colorado and I need comic books, I head to Arvada, Colorado, to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, the teal troll is attacking me.
My son's in danger. Will no one help him?
Oh no, it's Man Spider.
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, the whips the competition with great deals on back issues, 50% off, hold slot, 20% off list price. You want sports memorabilia? They got that too.
Where are you going, Man Spider? The teal troll still has my son.
Here's web in your eye.
Oh no, I'm bested by Man Spider again.
So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado, and tell them the Real Nerd sent you.
This is the box office stats.
This is a shame. This is such a
What do you
shame.
mean?
Because Olympus Has Fallen is a pretty fun movie. We all pretty like that movie. The Croods.
Did you really
number
think it
one.
was going to beat The Croods, though?
No, I didn't.
Of course not. It's been a long time since they've had a family film, so I knew The Croods was going to make a lot of money.
Maybe that movie's good. I don't know.
It's gotten good reviews.
It looks like poo, though.
It does.
Long time since a family film like Rise of the Guardians made a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Like 2 months ago.
Not enough, though.
Not enough for
I mean,
itself,
but when you think about it, they had that Escape from Planet Earth, which got no publicity,
Yeah.
and ended up making
Plus, yeah,
like
that's the other
$60 million.
Yeah.
And it was shocked because if you don't have, enough movies for kids, because there's been action movie after action movie after action movie this year.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, families need to watch movies too. So The Croods with $47 million, I believe, is what they made.
Yep.
And then, but Olympus Has Fallen, it made $30 million, which shocked everybody. They were
Yeah.
projecting it to do like $20 million.
And
So.
at number 2, I mean, it's
Or
doing
Bomb.
fine.
Or Bomb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it didn't.
Very cool.
So yeah, we go to Box Office Mojo if you didn't know, and we steal their stats. But we give them credit for it, so you can't sue us. Box Office Mojo, owned by Amazon.
Yeah, it's free advertising. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
be grateful.
And now is the time of the show where I decide if I'm going to buy anything next week, and I'm already going to buy something next week because I almost bought it this week on DVD, but it comes out on Blu-ray for the first time.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
And that's that thing you do.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I thought you were going to say the Bible.
No, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, no, the Blu-ray for that thing you do, the cover art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Dude, it's so good. It's one of those movies that's so good, and I haven't seen it in a long time because I only had it on VHS and I didn't get it on DVD. And I was at Second Spin, and the DVD was $12.99. I said, "Man, I should get this, but I don't want to spend $13 on a used DVD."
Yeah.
And I was walking through the line. I said, "Well, let me see how much it is on Amazon. If it's more on Amazon, then I'll just get it." I typed in that thing you do, and the first thing that popped up was it was coming out on Blu-ray next week. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't get it.
As I mentioned though, that epic mini series, The Bible, comes out this week.
I heard it takes a lot of liberties with the
It
Bible.
does. That's what I was gonna say. It actually not that good at being an adaptation of the Bible, and in weird ways. Like I haven't watched a lot of it, but I've seen little bits, and my mom's watching a lot of it. And there are times where they just change the dialogue, like the things people said. That you could just say what they said in the Bible, and they're just like,
I now present to you the 5 commandments.
we got to skip through some of the ones we don't care
I didn't
about.
watch any of the episodes because it didn't look that good. If it was an
Yeah.
actual telling of the Bible or the history of the Bible, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
But there's this part where Jesus says something about we're going to change lives or something. I
Yeah.
forget. It was really hokey,
And they've-
action movie line.
They've done really good Bible miniseries. There was one they did in the late '90s called Jesus that was really good, and had some when they did take liberties, they took liberties with an artistic merit and were like, hey, we're gonna come at this thing with this aspect and stuff like that. It's also gotten a lot of criticism because they made the devil look like Barack Obama. No, I was gonna say Osama bin Laden. Barack
Wow.
Obama. So that's weird.
yeah.
He's clearly not. Clearly,
No, it's
when that
just-
guy walks
it
into a
just happens
cast,
to be a
yeah,
lookalike. I
like
don't
when that
think
guy
it was
walks into a
intentional.
casting room, he looks like some older French dude, and then you put him in a robe and you throw some dirt on his face, and you're like, wait a
Whoa.
second. No, I'm just saying because
So
he's
does it have
darker.
dirt face to
No,
be
'cause
Barack
the-
Obama?
No, the
Dick, man.
no, the actual actor is French and not that dark skin, and then the
So you have to have
in the
blackface
picture
to be Barack Obama.
I'm sorry, Barack Obama is blacker than the French than that guy is. Yes, that's not me being racist. I mean, he's only half black. Anyway,
What else is coming out this week, James?
Hello Dolly gets a Blu-ray release this week.
Very nice.
Wally's favorite movie.
Say again?
Wally's favorite movie.
Yeah. Brad's favorite movie, John Dies at the End, gets a
Someone
Blu-ray
told me
release this
that
week.
movie was good. Who the one of Laura's friends told me that if you have, it's really good.
Yeah?
Because it's so goofy that it's good.
Well, you buy it and
I'm
watch
not
it yourself.
If you want
I'm
to,
not
you
gonna
can
buy it.
listen to
Yeah.
one of Laura's friends rather than Brad,
No,
who
I'm not gonna
explained
buy
to
it.
you why it wasn't very good.
And he said that he liked it because he talked into a hot dog. I said, Brad said he didn't like it because he talked into a hot dog.
I also like Father's Day, so who knows what.
That is very true. Speaking of things that aren't very good, though, The Killing Season 2 comes out this week. So if you
Yeah.
still want to give a shit about that show,
Never watched it anyways.
not very good. But what was very good was the BBC show Dirk Gently, which is based on...
Fucking this guy in English shows.
Hold on. It's based on one of the lesser known Douglas Adams series, and it's like a quirky mystery, detective show. It's only 3 episodes long, but they were 3 really good episodes. So if you never got a chance to check it out, if you're a Douglas Adams fan, if you like Hitchhiker's Guide, but you've never seen anything else, definitely pick up Dirk Gently. It's really good.
Put down your tea and crumpets, James.
You jerk.
We're in America.
Hey, this is a not rated DVD. It's hardcore. Don't pick on me.
That's it. Nothing
That's
else cool is
that's it.
coming out.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So that thing you do, make sure you pick up that Blu-ray. So
Yeah,
they
that's-
release other movies like that. On
That's
Blu-ray.
really the biggest release this week.
Well, it's time for James's favorite part, and that's real news.
It's real news.
I do like this part.
Anything big this week, James?
No, but we're going to talk about some silly stuff. White House Down got a trailer this week, and this is only news because did you watch it? I mean, obviously
yeah,
you did. It
we
was
saw
in
it
front of
before
our
our
movie.
movie.
Yeah. All right. I don't think that movie looks as good as Olympus Has Fallen, and it's got way more money behind it and like better actors. And yeah.
Yeah, it's Roland Emmerich destroying stuff, which he loves to do.
Yeah.
And I was actually teasing Brad when they put his name up and it says the director of, and I said, are they going to say Godzilla? And it was Independence Day.
Which Godzilla better than some of the movies they mentioned, like 2012 and The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, I still think his best movie is The Patriot, but you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
agree with that.
I mean, I might
Independence
fight.
Day is more fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
I
more
might fight you
fun.
on Independence Day, but that's like nostalgic reasons. Like
Yeah.
The Patriot is probably a better film.
It is.
I mean, it takes some history,
Dude, you know.
liberties,
Oh,
but
yeah,
that's
it does.
okay.
They combine a lot of characters, but
Yeah. I had a teacher who complained about the fact that the corn in the movie was historically inaccurate because at the time they didn't have corn that grew that big. And I was like, that's not the problem with that movie.
there's no problem with that movie. You just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because he's long feared that his sins would come back to haunt him,
Yeah.
and the weight would be more than he could bear.
I think part of it is it's the best written of his movies. Like that script is way better than
it's
any
really
of
good.
the other scripts. You know.
I got it on Blu-ray this week. I can't wait to watch it.
The disappointing thing for me is that White House Down seemed like a movie where he was going to maybe take a step back, and you know, because he's not destroying the whole world or whatever like that. Like, you know, he's not. It's not going to be this huge CG extravaganza of like everything dying, but instead there's like slow motion car turns over into a pool and it's all CG, and it's that same like way too waxy, doesn't look that good CG. Like he's still doing the same shit. It's just on this very small kind of boring scale. It's like, you remember last time when a wave destroyed Tibet? This time a small wave in a pool is gonna destroy this Chevrolet. Like it's just not. It's.
We'll still see it.
I felt like
Oh yeah, probably yeah.
I felt like the cinematography in his in the movie, in the trailer, I guess, was a little different from what I've seen before.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like that scene where
It's not a ton of wide shots.
Well, they told it like a
blowing
documentary,
up.
kind of.
Yeah, and like the scenes where Channing Tatum is shooting that gun in that hallway. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. But I don't know who Jamie Foxx is. Is he the president?
He's the president.
Is he?
Yeah.
He doesn't
Black
seem
people
like
can
a
be presidents, James.
Yeah. For another 3 years, black
Well,
people will be
half-
presidents in
Um,
movies.
He doesn't seem like it because he just sort of stands around. Yeah, for some
They
about
don't
him,
really
he
tell
looks like
anything
a.
about the story.
Yeah.
There's trying to sell some mystery about something the United States is hiding underneath the White House.
But that's
It's an
part of the
inside
problem.
job.
That's part of the problem is that
but
since
then
they
they
don't tell
showed
any
some
story.
sort of cyber terrorist who's really
Yeah.
in a computer.
Yeah, and he's like throwing his hands up like I win.
yeah,
yeah.
the White House is fallen.
Yeah.
What was Timothy Olyphant's character in Live Free or Die Hard?
I don't
Something
remember his
Gabriel.
name. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Thomas Gabriel?
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in this The White House Down is his sequel.
I think the problem is that because they don't tell any story, the trailer ends and you go, "Oh yeah, it's Olympus Has Fallen." It's the same. All right, but this time there's
But
more.
I mean, they
dudes.
did it. 97, Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah,
They both were successful. So
Ants, Bugs Life.
and yeah, and those. Oh man, Ants is nowhere near as good as Bugs Life. No one talks about Ants. Man,
it's Woody Allen,
I
guys.
was 8 years old and I remember walking at a movie and being pissed off at it. Like,
I don't think I ever saw Ants.
oh, I saw it in theaters. Like that whole sequence, there's like a war or something, and some ants get like cut in half, and it's fucked up. Like they walk through this battlefield of dead ants at some point, and I remember sitting there being like, "This is messed up." Like it kind of scared me. Like I don't think I should be watching this. Like that guy's in half, and his legs are still squiggling around.
Really? That's in a cartoon?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Or at least that's what my brain remembers. I'm sure that's in that movie. I can remember watching it, and then still not enjoying it, even though it scared the shit out of me.
Sylvester Stallone's in that movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's some weird, but it's like more B-list actors, you know. That yeah. Anyway.
Stallone takes offense to that, saying
That's fine. I don't.
he's an A actor.
I really don't care.
Fuck you too, James.
FX is going to spin off a new channel, which is, I find this really weird, partially because they're going to call it FXX, which just sounds like you're going to show like
Porn?
dirty stuff on there. Yeah, exactly. Like as soon as you start adding more than one X, I just assume there's going to be fewer clothes. Like there's
Well, is this FX Extreme or something?
probably, yeah. So they're going to renew It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and move It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to FXX. And then
Is that
they
to
also
bring viewers or something?
well, their FXX is going to concentrate more
That sounds
on
so silly when you say that.
I know. FXX is going to concentrate more on original programming that FX has created over the past few years.
So then what is FX becoming?
FX is going to maybe go back to just being movies. Like I would think that if anything, you would put FXX. FXX would have more movies on there as
now
your,
you're
as
making
your
it hard
second
to
brand.
find.
Yeah.
shows
Well,
that you
I
like.
think it's gonna. I think it seems like they're gonna move a lot of their comedies. So maybe It's Always Sunny and Louie and The League and stuff will go over there because it sounds like Justified is gonna stay on FX because they also this all happened as they were announcing the renewals for next season, and of course Justified, the best show on television right now, got renewed. So it just seems weird. I don't know why why don't you just call it FX2? That's what MTV does. Everybody
Yeah.
should follow MTV.
Well, ESPN2, I think, was like the original
Oh yeah.
innovator of that because they used to have NHL Tonight with the 2 in front of it.
Yeah. Or at least come up with a cool name like, Cartoon Network Boomerang.
Yeah.
It's all coming back. I still remember the tagline of that. I wanted that channel so bad, but we did not have good enough cable to get it. And then I eventually did get it, and I realized I don't really like watching old Flintstones cartoons.
Really?
all
Flintstones
day.
are great.
They are, but I don't like watching them all day.
Hmm.
That's the problem. And now it's not even that anymore. Now
I
it's
know.
like Ed, Ed, and Eddie. You're like, this isn't old. They're still working on making another Tomb Raider film, which I want to talk about because you reviewed Tomb Raider this week.
I did.
And I, especially in light of that game and hopefully how good a reception that game is getting, I would love it if they made a game or a movie like that game.
Oh, dude.
Like one where there's not like artificially enhanced chests and we don't need
No.
like ridiculous shit, like just badass girl fighting dudes and digging through dirt to find cool stuff and maybe fighting something mystical at the end.
One of the cool things about that game, too, is, Laura gets beat up a lot in it.
Yeah.
And she always gets up, and I love the strength of her. She's always getting up. She always wants to save the people around her. And she kicks ass.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see because, that game has come such a long way.
Oh yeah.
I was going to put in the post, I was trying to fit in what she looked like when she first came out, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
And I was saying, this is what, how she should look and how badass she is.
Yeah.
But my wife, of course, I'm playing it, and I'm running through a burning building and jumping on things. And she says, well, her arms, there's no way she could pull herself up at that. She's still an idealized version.
Oh,
I said,
well,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
she is, but she's toned down from what she was. Like
Yeah.
now she is ridiculous, but not ridiculous for video games. If
No,
that makes sense.
but I don't think she's that out. I don't think she's out of proportion at all.
Yeah, she's
a
still
little skinny,
she's still
but-
got she still is fairly oddly thin and very large chested, but
Dude, Playboy models? Anybody?
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm not expecting video games to get better about that overnight.
No.
And what is important to me is not that she doesn't look like an idealized woman. What is important to me is that in this game she has opinions and thinks
And
of
is an
things
awesome character.
and is a well-built character that you well built that you actually feel like is a person.
Yeah,
That's what's
when
important about it.
when you kill that person for the first time, dude,
Yeah.
you feel bad.
Yeah.
And you still feel bad when she kills people because you think she doesn't want to do it. Of course, she's really good at it in the game, but
And it's funny you bring up the thing about like her always getting back up and getting beat up so much is that the promotion for the game was horrible, like really sexist. But
Was it? I
in
don't
ways
remember.
in ways that they didn't mean to be. Like when the guys who were making that game and were doing promotion for that game would talk about it, they would say things like, well, first of all, you'd see all these clips and the audio of her getting beat up. Like if you just take the audio of her going like like it sounds like there's supposed to be some kind of gratification out of listening to her get beat up. But it's also that they would say things like, well, we put a little bit of baby fat on her so that you would want to protect her, which sentences like that make so many, they make assumptions about the gamers, and they say weird things about women and stuff like that. And I don't care what she looks like. I don't play that game being like, oh, I want to protect Lara Croft. No, I want to be Lara Croft and being awesome and getting her ass kicked and getting back up and shooting dudes in the eye with an arrow. which is awesome.
Yeah. Anytime there's dudes just talking, you just take them out with headshots.
Yeah.
I need those XP points, man.
If they ever make another Tomb Raider game where you don't have a bow, they have completely misstepped.
But it's even badass when you have to run and jump on zip lines and stuff. And,
yeah, that's the kind of shit they need to get that in a movie. You know, have her out there surviving. You know, make her young like she is in this one, and make us kind of feel like, because in a movie, then you do kind of you worry for that character more than you necessarily want to be them or protect them. You're on a ride with them, and so in that case, like, you make her young, make it feel like you don't think she's necessarily going to survive. And
I think that girl, lady in Doctor Who would be a good Lara Croft.
Oh shit, yes.
'Cause she's younger.
Jenna Louise Coleman. I think is her
she's
name.
younger and she's cute, and
the new companion.
And she's a normal-looking woman. Well, I mean, she's beautiful, but I mean, she's not
right. Yeah,
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, which even Angelina Jolie in that first movie, they've got like her chest built up.
Yeah,
yeah.
You don't need to do that.
No, you don't. It's ridiculous.
Or Alison Brie. I don't know.
Ooh. Well, I'm not going to argue against casting Alison Brie in anything, and she's got the chest for it. But anyway,
and she does a great English accent.
This is true.
The 5-year engagement.
But anyway, that's all the news for this week. Really not anything.
Yeah, nothing exciting.
The guy who wrote Thor passed away. His name was Don Payne.
Yeah.
So he wrote for The Simpsons for a while too.
So did the uncle from Harry Potter. He passed away today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, I forget his name, but he's really good in that. He's a really big British character actor.
Yeah.
So bummer.
Absolutely.
We haven't had James Bummer news in a while.
Yeah. Well, that's why I just threw it in there at the end.
So it's that time of the night, guys, where we dig into the long box and tell everybody to read a comic book.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
So this is an interesting one. I'm going to recommend a book that I actually haven't read yet.
Wait, what?
And once I tell you why, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that is a book people should go check out. Part of it is it only came out this Wednesday, and I just haven't gotten a chance to read it yet. Mm-hmm. But I have read through the Point One episode that Marvel did back in late January, as sort of a prelude to it. And it's Guardians of the Galaxy. They just sort of rebooted Marvel, and if you've listened to every episode, you may remember a time when I talked about the fact that when they announced that they were going to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that it would be sort of next year. That I went and I was like, oh, okay, I got to read some Guardians of the Galaxy, but the books that seem like the books that are where you should jump on to read that are out of print. Like you can't get them on Amazon or anywhere like that. You might be able to find them in a store here or there, but it's hard to get. So, in preparation for this movie, they have started a new line of Guardians of the Galaxy, and also to tie in with Marvel now. And it's written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Stephen McNiven, which art by Stephen McNiven, if you don't know comics, is gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, it takes a while. You got to
Hopefully
be patient.
His book will always be on time.
Yeah, but even if it's not, he's got some time. If it's not monthly, that's okay. It looks gorgeous. He does a lot of details and hashing and like
his Captain America costume is so cool.
Yeah. And so if you're somebody who you want to know about that character, you want to know why is there going to be a CG raccoon in a Marvel movie, you should go check this book out. It just started this week, so you can definitely find it at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, and pick it up, and then just start following it there. Open up a box there and just subscribe. Because then you get a little bit taken off of your issues too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love that Point One issue.
Yeah,
they don't know why it's a Point One. They think it should have just been the number one issue, but
it feels like it. What's really funny, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but what's really funny is it starts with this guy crashes this jet into this like farmer lady's backyard, very very Looper, and while he's got to stay, like he reveals that he is like this king from another planet, and she freaks out for a second, and then she's like, well, all right, whatever, you're handsome, like, yeah, he looks human, and then he's like, well, I gotta hang around and like fix my jet, kind of just stay at your place. The dialogue is better than this. Is Brian Michael Bendis, and she's like, sure, whatever. And then there's these great like no dialogue pages of montage of like him fixing stuff and them getting to know each other, And then one day like they get close, and then clearly they bang, And then the next day, he's on the front porch, and he's like, "Yeah, I fixed it a few days ago, but I figured I'd stick around because we seemed like we were getting along. You might sleep with me, so I stayed around." He's nice about it. He really does love her, I guess. But he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go, and you can't come because there's a war going on. Sorry. So I'm gonna take off. I hope you're not pregnant." And of course she is. So, and then the book takes off from there, and it's pretty good. I'm
Cool.
enjoying it. Yeah.
I did want to check it out, but I
Yeah.
forgot to pick it up.
Well, you should go over to Color Coins, Cards, and Comics and get the issue first
I
issue
bet
this week.
Andrew can find me an issue. He found me the first part of Death of the Family,
Oh yeah.
and I went on to Comic Book Price Guide and put it into my inventory. That comic is like $30 online.
Really?
Sweet.
And
Oh, man.
he gave it to me for $3.
See, this is the kind of really heart and soul thing people that are running that store.
So I mean, obviously, I got it a couple weeks ago, so the price might have gone up after
Yeah.
the story really
Yeah.
ended. But yeah, I was surprised when I clicked on it and it was $30.
that's so cool. Anytime you find a comic shop that just wants to get stories to people like that, that's
Yeah, Andrew always does that. He has some comics that are really low priced because there's an Amazing Spider-Man, the first appearance of Molten Man, and it's in pretty good shape, and he wants $24 for it. And that's a $600 comic.
yeah.
It's obviously not near mint, but
Right.
still, but to get a comic like that for $24 is a steal.
Oh yeah.
So that's
absolutely.
why I go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
It's a nice place.
It helps me get my Spider-Man runs going.
I might go next Friday. I got
Should.
next Friday off. Maybe I'll come.
You should. I just got a bunch of old Amazing Spider-Mans for like $3.
Dude.
And I got a Joe Kelly Web Spinners of Spider-Man. I'm really excited to read because it's about Peter Parker going to his prom, and the prom is broken up by the Sandman. So I want to see Joe Kelly write Peter Parker in high school. I think would be fun.
Now that we're talking about this, this reminds me that I got to request the first Saturday of May off. And if you're listening, you should also request the first Saturday of May off so that you can attend Free Comic Book Day at a comic store near you.
Heck yeah.
Preferably the comic store near us, Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
There's a free Ninja Turtle comic book coming out that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Cute.
So I'll be on that.
Yeah, hey, guess what, guys? We saw a movie this week.
We did.
We saw G.I. Joe Retaliation,
We did.
and they're going to retaliate so fucking hard.
They're going to retaliate the shit out of you.
Yeah, Brad, should people go see G.I. Joe Retaliation?
You know what? It's not the greatest movie, but I did enjoy it more than the first one.
James?
I didn't enjoy it more than the first one, but it is still pretty fun. I miss the silly, like this movie takes place much more in the real world, which I think is sort of a problem because there's still some silly in there. But it's pretty fun. The action is really good. Yeah.
I'm going to totally disagree with James. I think this movie's way better than the first one and a lot more fun than the first one. And yeah, I think you should go see it because it's pretty cool.
Cool.
Here's the trailer.
The Duke. See that?
Security's early.
They're all dead. There's only one man could authorize a strike like that. And I voted for him. You're insane.
My fellow world leaders, you're looking at an advanced weapons system capable of destroying each of your countries 14 times over. 15 in the case of North Korea. And all at the push of a button.
We have to assume that there's no one we can trust.
There is one man. General, call me Joe.
Drive it like you stole it.
As your good friend, you need a new catchphrase.
I don't know much about where I'm from, but I know I strike fear everywhere I come. Government
Let's get to work.
so I wear my gun. I really want the rocket launcher, but I'm still too young. This movie give me courage not to fear no one, to feel no pain and hear no tongue. So I hear no screams and I shed no tear.
The president says they can't come out of retirement. They didn't say anything about re-enlisting.
There's no Joseph Gordon-Levitt though. He's not the Cobra
No.
Commander because he's
Which
probably
I
too
miss.
expensive to.
Probably by now, yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
and at this point,
and it's not
he's-
really necessary.
The
Yeah,
character wears a mask the whole time, so why?
And
Right.
and in the first one when he was the doctor, they dubbed his voice anyways, so it didn't matter.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't notice that.
really didn't notice when he's talking like this. and-
Well, I mean, I knew it was like messed up, but I didn't know it was a completely different voice.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a dude who does a voice for the cartoon, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I can see that.
But anyways, the movie literally pretty much picks up right at the end of
Yeah.
the first one, but it gets rid of all the characters.
Yeah, yeah. It throws
I wanted to
everybody
see
out
Rachel
the window.
Nichols' boobs so bad. and
Yeah,
they
I
really
would.
denied
I
me
really think
this.
they should have gotten Rachel Nichols back. Like,
And
It's so fucking weak.
and Baroness, I mean, I thought she was an interesting character.
yeah.
And
I mean,
she does it-
Santa Miller's not the best actress, but it's
but she's still a cool character,
Yeah.
and she didn't show up. And
it's basically just Duke and
Roadblock.
Snake Eyes.
Dennis
Snake
Quaid is
Eyes.
out.
Oh, no,
Dennis,
Roadblock.
Dennis Quaid is just out.
Roadblock's not in the last.
Oh
one.
yeah,
It's
I know. I thought that's
Ripcord.
where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Ripcord. We don't miss him.
No, not really.
Yeah, but anyways, the Joes go to Pakistan to secure warheads, and if you've seen the trailer, you know that they're betrayed by the President of the United States, who's not really the President of the United States. You do have to see the first G.I. Joe movie to understand that the President of the United States is not the President of the United States.
Well, they explain it.
They kind of do, I guess.
I mean, they don't explain why that guy has a magic face, but still, whatever.
well, in the first one, remember, he got his face all fucked up. and-
Well, yeah, no, he gets injected with nanites, but I mean, that's what I mean. They never say like he's got a nanite face in the you know.
yeah, they don't.
They just sort of are like, oh, if you cut him, he is magic.
But so the first 30 minutes is just reestablishing the previous movie, and I mean, I could tell the pickup scenes that they added.
Yeah, because suddenly there's like these just oddly sort of quirky and fun, very real world scenes between Duke and
Roadblock.
and Roadblock.
I mean, the scene they were playing Xbox was really funny.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was really weird because they came back from their mission, and then they showed those two guys talking. Then they cut to them having this contest where they're trying to shoot a
Target practice.
a cupcake, and whoever wins does something. They're at this really funny banter, and
Yeah.
and then it cuts back to them in their gear that they were wearing when they came back from their mission.
Yeah.
So they obviously just inserted that scene there to give Channing Tatum's basically his character from 21 Jump Street some time to riff.
yeah.
I felt like some studio exec was like, "That's what we need to make G.I. Joe successful. I want 21 Jump Street in this movie."
yeah, and a giant spider.
'Cause that shit was funny.
Yeah, and then they just go on from there, and I mean, it's really The Rock's movie after
Oh,
that.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I call Rock the franchisee invigorator because with the Fast Five, he made it way better. He has a certain amount of charisma. I mean, even though I've always liked him, I think he does bring charisma and a certain weight to movies where
And not just the fact that he's like 350 pounds.
yeah, and he's just, I mean, he's a tough guy, but I mean, he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of our generation, where he's the guy who comes in. He's charming and can spit one-liners. I'd love to see those two in a movie together, but
Dude.
I mean, the rundown they do a little wink to each other, but
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of our generation.
Yeah.
The Rock is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of his generation.
that's true. But yeah, so I mean, you guys can chime in. The action scenes were actually, I think, really cool in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ninja Mountain is what I'm going to call it.
Anytime that The Rock picks a dude up and flips him over like he's in a wrestling ring, it's always satisfying. And he does it a lot.
I thought it was a little dizzying. Like at times it was a little too quick cut and too close up to where where's things going. And especially that first scene where they storm the Pakistan facility.
yeah.
And there's just total craziness going on. There's like people talking in through headphones and communicators about what's going on that you can't see. And I was actually sitting there thinking, this is actually very interesting because realistically, like the situation is so chaotic that your mind should be all over the place trying to figure out what's going on in the scene.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal like filmmaker would be like, oh, we have to follow a story, so you have to direct the audience to what exactly is happening. I was like, no, you don't always have to do that. This makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this might sound weird, but I think the director of this movie directed the Step Up movies, so very choreographed. So I think that's why his action scenes were pretty cool, because those have to be choreographed as well.
Yeah.
So I think it actually benefited from him. It doesn't have the scale of what Stephen Sommers brings.
No.
But it also doesn't have a scene where they're driving down Paris and they drop like a grate to make cars flip over to knock Snake Eyes off the top of a Hummer for some unknown reason. Why they can't just shoot him? I don't know.
Because he dodges bullets, man.
He does.
He's a ninja.
But back to this movie, it's just cool. I thought the movie was really cool. It was funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there were times where I felt like they were trying to tread on a little bit of like Mission Impossible territory and things like that, where like because they're alone, and they don't have a lot of resources, they're not going to be flying super space jets and firing laser missiles at people. So they've got to do things like dress up the pretty lady in a dress and have her go like get hair follicles and stuff. And all of that stuff kind of feels, I don't know,
not special,
easy. Yeah, very very overwrought. Like I was just like, okay, whatever. Like just get this. Yes, Adrian Palicki in a dress is pretty, and you want that in the trailer, but it seemed like a waste of time.
Yeah,
actually,
so go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought the Cobra Commander's plan was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
tricking all the.
The whole scene with the missiles at
the
end is really cool.
But I also thought it was weird too that they just glazed over that London was decimated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Paris is decimated, right? From the last movie, and now London is.
Really only the Eiffel Tower. Which I think we may see in the movie.
It collapsed and took out a few bridges, I'm pretty sure, in the first G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but it wasn't like London, like the
whole
Earth
island
itself
in the sea
breaks a fourth, and like the sea envelops
literally
it,
millions of people were just murdered.
Oh yeah,
and they just glazed over it.
Yeah,
but they did have an intimate ceremony for the G.I. Joes at the end.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that was kind of weird to me is that I would expect if you were gonna do that, you put that threat earlier in the movie so that we feel the stakes. Whereas the rest of the time, I was just like, oh okay, these guys are gonna just try to prove that like the president's not real or whatever. And I guess the president's got some evil plan, but we don't really know what it is yet. I bet it'll be bad.
You know what was really dopey? RZA. Or RZA.
The RZA? Oh, the RZA's the worst.
With his frosted eyebrows and poor delivery.
I was embarrassed the entire time he was on screen.
Why didn't they get... who's that old Chinese guy that's in all the movies?
Pai Mei?
Yeah, he's like in Gremlins and stuff. Is he dead? I don't think so.
I don't remember who you're talking
No, he's
about.
not dead.
George Takei?
Dude, even... it's Takei.
Did he voice Splinter in the animated movie?
I think so, yeah.
That guy? Because he is dead.
Is he?
Yeah. He died before that movie came out.
Oh, that makes me sad because that guy I would buy.
Well, but just how about
or the guy? He's the guy in Balls of Fury. He's like, you killed Stucky Cricket.
Oh, that guy? I think he's still alive.
Okay.
How about this? How about anybody who could act?
Yeah. Well, I guess there you go.
I mean, that's the thing. The problem is not so much that he is even playing like this horrible Asian stereotype of like
who's
the
an
blind. Well, hold on, yeah, but just like the blind martial arts trainer who has like a pole that he hits on the ground or whatever. Like that to me is something I've seen so many times that then you cast the RZA in that to deliver lines like I don't know, a blind brat delivers the mail.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to.
Well, no, it's it's one of those things when I see movies like that where that a studio guy says, "Well, we need to get young people in here, so if we have the RZA as the Jedi master, they'll say, oh, he's so cool," and hopefully kids are smart enough to say, "This guy is a horrible actor. We don't."
Well, the RZA was just in that Man with 1,000 Iron Fists movie, and that was martial arts, so clearly he's got some cred. I think the part of it is that the RZA has gotten to be friends with Hollywood types.
But wasn't G.I. Joe supposed to come out before The Man with the Iron Fist?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, sure. You're right. It was. Yeah, that's right. This movie's a year old.
But yeah, and I mean, there's parts of it that was really cool. I also thought Bruce Willis wasn't really necessary in it.
Yeah,
I don't. He was there for a week or so just to shoot that Bruce Willis is in the movie, but he really has nothing to do.
Yeah, and then their whole thing at the end where he's like, hey, I think we'd make a great team. Almost feels like it almost feels shitty because it's almost like, oh, hey, audience, you showed up because you thought like Bruce Willis and The Rock were going to be awesome and team up and do cool stuff in this movie, but we promise next time we'll actually try to make that happen.
Yeah, because I guess even he took Lady J with him. He didn't even have any moments with The Rock where they're kicking ass together.
And then like that their whole thing, they sort of promise that like, oh, okay, these two characters, he's like, oh, I want you to come with me, because I need you. And then, like, he could have had any soldier there. Like,
well, but no. See, you missed the part that he knew
she's a marksman.
Was the daughter of a guy he served with. So that's why he wanted her around.
That, come on.
And
No.
there's a great line too where Rock is laying out the plan. He says, "Snake Eyes, what do you think?" He doesn't say anything. He says, "Perfect. That's what I thought."
Yeah.
And it's funny.
I really like the fact that when Snake Eyes steps out of the helicopter, he's way shorter than everyone else, and I was like, oh yeah, Ray Parks is like Tom Cruise height. Yeah.
Tom Cruise is never going to be on this podcast now.
He was never going to be on this podcast.
He was,
before.
dude. He lives in Colorado.
He follows me on Twitter.
He does?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't follow him. He follows me though.
But all in all, I thought the movie was cool. I thought the action scene's really cool.
Yeah.
The Ninja Mountain part
Ninja
where
Mountain's
they're
pretty
running,
great.
and there's just random ninjas fighting, and the old granny ninja.
Because like Ninja, leading up to Ninja Mountain was all the other ninja stuff I didn't care about, like the RZA. And at that point I was like, yeah, we've been away from The Rock for a long time. Like this is Dragon, and then Ninja Mountain starts, and I was like, fuck yeah, flying ninjas! Like this is what I
And
needed.
shooting stars with a gun.
Yeah. Oh man, with like an Uzi.
Yep.
There was a wide shot of Ninja Mountain where I started to think about, what is their economy? So is there one guy who has to climb down the mountain to like go to the farm that they have so they can have food and then bring it back up, and then they like
Oh, they're Buddhist monks. Like they don't do anything.
parse
but
it out for over a
move.
month?
Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe they've got a helipad somewhere.
Yeah, I'm surprised those Buddhist monks didn't have Lhasa Apso in there, because they are Buddhist monk sentinel dogs. Is
Really?
where they're bred for, yeah.
Weird. Sentinel dogs, like they kill intruders.
Yeah. Well, they're watchdogs. They're not going to kill anybody. Look at Reggie. He won't kill anybody.
Well, that's because he only got one eye.
He does.
He wouldn't know how far away the person was because he has no depth perception.
The dog from Religious Podcast only has one eye.
Yeah. and the cat wears a T-shirt because it's got no skin.
Yep. Anyways, so I had fun with the movie. I think you should go see it. It was fun.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely.
I thought it was way better than the first one.
So here's the thing I haven't addressed. So I did think it was really fun. My problem, partially my problem was that so they've still got some of the really silly stuff in there, like just generally
The
any
gloves that melt fence.
the ninjas, the gloves
That's
that melt.
cool.
Yeah. But like the bullets that turn and guide themselves and stuff like that.
Oh,
That's a cool
that thing
idea.
you brought that up. Is Mouse the kid from Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes,
Oh,
and they
that's the dude
killed
from
him,
Jurassic
and
Park.
I was so sad. I was like, oh, come on. Man, I wanted him in the whole. I don't give a shit about Flint or whatever. I wanted Mouse in the whole movie.
I know. I kept on,
that would have been so much
I know,
better.
That was actually my least favorite part. Is Flint was so boring.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
don't they get a more cool actor to do it?
The most character development he has is when he tries not to look at Adrian Palicki half naked, but does it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
He's like Meg with claws or nails,
Shut up,
fingernails.
Meg.
so there's still enough silly stuff in there, like the ninjas and that kind of stuff, or just generally anything Cobra Commander, the dude with the magic face, hey Destro, you're out of the band, that kind of stuff. That I think it really stands out in a movie that, other than that, is trying to be like a very modern military hoorah, like yay for the army kind of movie, like it.
And how disappointing was it that Duke didn't show up at the end? The Cobra Commander like kidnapped him, or because Cobra came and swept the area.
Yeah,
And
like they have to get Duke back for the next one.
So, and they just take his body, and then they show him he's in the tube that the Cobra Commander's in, and he says, "I have plans for young Duke." And then you said, they zoom in on the Cobra tattoo with the nano thing. Dude, why aren't we screenwriters?
Seriously.
Or just tag scene screenwriters, I guess.
Yeah. All I do is write the stinger for your movie. Like, hey, this is the shit you fucked up. This is how I'm gonna set you on the right track for the next one.
I just assumed that the first guy that Rock took dog tags off of was Duke's body.
Oh yeah, no, I think that they imply that, like
Yeah.
I think so too, but it didn't look like him.
Did I also? I got the impression also that Duke was Colton's son, because they're both like bald men.
No,
I don't know.
I don't
Well,
think
no,
they
because he said his name, and his last name wasn't Colton.
Yeah,
Because he had his dog tags.
Maybe they don't have the same last name.
Yeah. Oh, also because Joe would have said like, oh, this is that's my son.
But maybe he's so stoic that he doesn't have to say it.
That's
verbally.
so boring. I would hate that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
But it seemed like they had some kind of personal relationship. So
he might have
because they're both bald.
Well, he might have
No,
recruited him because remember he was in the first movie they said they tried to recruit him 4 years earlier.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So,
yeah.
So maybe there is a connection there.
That's the backstory we're gonna.
And then he turns out that he's alive in the third one, and Colton and Roadblock have to stop him because he becomes the new. What's the dude with the iron mask?
Destro.
Destro.
He's the new Destro or something. And
even though there's still Destro.
Yeah, they still got Destro. They'll get
Destro too.
He's more advanced.
Yeah, and it really was like the Destro you're out of the band, especially if you've seen the first movie, feels very much like we don't want to spend money on the CG for your face, so you just hang out here. We have no need for you. Like you're not that interesting. Just oh shit, there was something important I was going to say, and now I can't remember.
And Ray Stevenson's pretty tough. He got ran over by a car and got up on his motorcycle and drove away.
Yeah, the next day he's like running around like nothing, like his body hasn't
tough.
been injured at all.
Well,
but
maybe he had the nanotechnology in him because that stuff makes you heal from the first one.
Is Firefly a
up.
G.I. Joe character from the cartoon?
Probably.
I'm sure. I don't remember the cartoon.
I don't remember Firefly.
There were a lot of them. Like,
there's a Batman character, Firefly.
There's a show called Firefly. I thought Adrian Palicki was pretty good too.
She was,
fine.
Nice to look at.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. You guys should watch Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, maybe one day.
No, you're not.
I'm not going to.
I don't believe you at all. You're such a liar. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is that in the next movie they'll have a really clunky flashback sequence like these movies both have, where it'll be like, "Oh, Bruce Willis tried to recruit me." That's how they'll handle it. Yeah.
So you know what, Hasbro and Paramount, if you need a screenwriter for G.I. Joe, Revengeance, then call me.
Oh, I still can't watch a movie and have Hasbro come up at the beginning and not laugh at it.
I know, it just seems so out of place.
It's just, man, this movie's selling toys.
Did they have that come up for Battleship?
Oh yeah. Yep, and I laughed then too.
I think the Wolverine looks interesting.
Oh yeah, that trailer looks really good.
What are we seeing next week, Ryan?
Oh, we're seeing Evil Dead next week.
I'm
seeing it for the second time. I'm excited.
I'm
it's going to be a tough sell for James.
No, it's just, me.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. But
hardcore horror, dude, is not my jam. But I'm gonna
it's
be
good.
There.
I will say it's good, except for some of the acting in it. But it's good.
That's okay. I'm gonna rent Sharknado sometime.
Nice.
So I don't need the acting.
Well, I'm sure the acting's better than in Sharknado.
Yeah. Well, I would be disappointed if the acting were good in Sharknado.
So yeah. Until next time.
How can you reach us?
I'm going to tell him, Brad. Fucking Christ.
They're just going to go until next time. Bye.
I was going to say,
how
until
you normally
next
do
time, you can tweet us, real_nerds. You can email us, realnerds@gmail.com. Call us, 720-6nerds5. We need a celebrity to call us this week. I'll try to figure out who is going to be available.
Bruce Campbell.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to imitate Bruce Campbell because I love him too much.
Whoa. These have been imitations this whole time?
Oh, I mean, no.
Bruce Campbell's
maybe I can get
busy
Jason
on
Statham
burners.
to call us. And so where is that? realnerds@gmail.com. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You can
tweet
like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. I already said the tweet at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook. Leave us a message right there.
Listen to us on Stitcher.
Share us on Stitcher.
You can go on our website, leave comments directly on there. And, yeah, realnerdspodcast.com.
And we know there are those lurkers out there, those people who listen and don't do anything. Do something.
That's right.
Send us a message.
This
just say
has
hi.
been a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. Until next time, join us.